say the same goes for me. Yeah. But usually it's chaos, which I'm cool with too. I thrive there.
Yeah, the only consistent thing for me is there is no consistency.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. I'm trying to I'm consistent about doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
But like as far as my schedule, it's not very consistent.
Nope. Yeah. Fucking some nights I'll be up to like 6 o'clock in the morning. Some nights I'm in bed by fucking 12.
Every once in a while, like the only thing I think that's consistent on my schedule is my class schedule.
Yeah.
You know, but
because it has to be.
Yeah. But that's about it. Everything else, you know, I will say I get up early, man. I'm usually here. I'm here between 4 and 5 in the morning. But that's because like I consistently like am home by a certain hour. That way I can have at least a few hours with my wife and my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, rather than getting here later and then having to stay late and then I'm not even there when my daughter goes to bed. That just kind of sucks. So you don't got any kids left yet, though.
No, I'm delaying that one until I am ready.
Yeah. How old are you?
25.
Oh yeah. You're good. I had my first one at what? I'll be 34 in April. So yeah, 33, dude.
I'm holding out to like 28, 27, 28.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to go too much. Like when I met Lydia, I think the timing's right because she's about to be 30, you know, and I think 33 for me is a good age. I know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's been a lot, but building a business and being a new father and husband and stuff. But at the same time, you know, like any later, like I didn't want to start having kids in my 40s.
Yeah, because then you're like, by the time they're old enough to actually like have fun with them,
I'm falling apart already, dude.
Yeah, you're
like,
already deteriorating.
Yeah, my body's been through shit, dude. So I don't need that. I don't need that. So, you ready to rock and roll, dude?
All right, I'm ready. Does this sound good over there? All right, cool.
You are perfect.
Do it, bro.
All right.
Gotta loosen up. God, I feel rusty, man. I feel rusty. What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit podcast. What this podcast does is bring individuals from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds to share their story, their experiences, and everything they've been through that led them to where they're at today. If this is of interest to you, definitely check it out. If it's not, still check it out. We dive into all sorts of topics that range from literally everything, because as we go along their journey, we dive into different things and go on little side quests along the way. So check this out, and we really appreciate that. As always, we got my man Logan Hyder.
Hello.
Of Cinema 83 in the house, doing his thing over there.
Top of the morning.
And today, we have a very special spooky guest for you today. I don't know if that's a good intro. We got Mr. Kalani Smith in the house.
What's going on?
Otherwise known as Kalani the Ghost Hunter.
That's right.
But he does a little bit more than that. We'll get into it. Welcome, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you for coming on, man. I think we met a while ago. It was at Carbon.
It was right when Carbon Franklin opened.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why everybody was even there, was because it was like part of, it wasn't the grand opening, but it was probably like a week after.
Yeah, they were moving into I think they were moving into that space next door too.
The CrossFit space, yeah.
Yeah, and I was selling some apparel. I was one of the only booths there. I think that was like 2020.
Yeah, because I always work out with Snake. You know, Snake.
Yeah.
See, what does he call you, Metalhead Joe?
Yeah, he's like older dude. He just loves black metal and stuff. That's how we met, because I saw a shirt on him at Olympus one time, and I was like, I love that band. Yeah, dude. I forgot that's how we met. Yeah, and then I saw you there. You were training with him, and that was it. Yep. I think that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah, it was probably 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Damn, man, time flies. And yeah, that was it, and we followed each other.
Yep.
And we've noticed each other's journeys and everything like that, and then I saw you getting into some wild things. I was like, what is this dude doing? You know, this is cool. He's creating his own path, and I'm not gonna explain it, but for those that don't know you on here, just real briefly, tell us what it is that you do.
Yeah. So if you've ever watched paranormal TV shows like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or anything of the similar, that's essentially what I do, except I am the host and the creator of it, not like a production team or like a network. So I go to places across the U.S. and now the world that a lot of people have died at, or a lot of people have reported paranormal activity, right? And I go investigate those claims and record it all.
Dude, there's some paranormal stuff going on here at the HQ. I'm here alone all the time, and like lights flicker, things say my name, they whisper my name, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
You're not far from the battlefield.
That's true. Some old warriors.
Yeah.
Small warriors
Hitting us up.
around.
They're like, Joe.
That's funny.
That could be something.
Yeah, you're not far from, what is it, Stones River?
Yeah, it's actually right up the road. Pretty cool spot too. Been there quite a few times. That's pretty badass though, man. And what else do you do? I know you got another
Yeah,
thing.
so I actually started as just like videography, and then that kind of grew into social media. But now I'm like huge in the UK for food reviews. I'm actually probably more famous in the UK than I am in the US now. Like everywhere I go in the UK, someone knows who I am.
That's wild.
It's wild, and I can see, like, because I'm not like, I don't consider myself like a celebrity, but like I can see where people that are like big time celebrities, how exhausting it would be.
These people just like following you with camera.
Well,
and
they're just like,
running
they're
up.
walking around like, hey, can I take a picture? And like, at first it was really cool. And then you're like, this sucks. Because everywhere you go, it's like, you can tell people are like watching what you're doing. And like, they'll look at their phone and you can see they're like watching a video of yours, which is really awkward. And then they like look at you and then they're like confirming that that's the guy that they're watching.
Damn.
But it's just weird. Like I was in Amsterdam and I got stopped probably a dozen times from people that recognize me from the UK.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like,
In a completely different country.
and I went over to the UK to do ghost hunting, and I just posted a food review as like I wanted to show people what food looked like in the UK from
Yeah.
my US base, but it didn't go to my US base. It went to the UK. And then all of a sudden I'm on BBC, and pretty much every business there hit me up to try and go review their food. And
That's freaking gnarly, man.
yeah. It's
And
wild.
you just get to try like free, like good food.
Yeah.
That's
And the
badass.
food is good. Like, I know a lot of people think like, oh, the UK food's trash, but I think social media has like done so much in not only Americanizing some of their food, but also just making some of their other food better.
Yeah.
Cause like they also don't have any preservatives or food dyes in any of their food.
Yeah, we got
So-
a lot of bullshit.
Even when you go to like McDonald's, like my stomach didn't hurt at all. I actually lost weight and I was eating garbage. Like if I would have been eating the same stuff here, I probably would have put on like 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But I literally lost like 8 pounds and I was eating complete shit.
That's wild, dude. Yeah, American food's like trash.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what we're actually eating because if I can go over there and eat that and then I come back over here and I am like eating clean here and I'm still like not losing the same amount of weight, there's something wrong.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong. And I feel like that's obviously, I mean, people are becoming pretty aware of that anyways. So it's pretty wild. But man, I just think it'd be so cool to just run around and like try different food, man. I always watch like diners, drive-ins, you know.
Yeah.
I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I would love to just roll up somewhere and just try their best stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's a dream. Like I do that in the daytime, and then whenever I want to go ghost hunting, like when I go back to the UK, I'm doing Edinburgh vaults, like where they vaulted all the people in with the bubonic plague, and then I'm doing a couple castles over there. But like now, the ghost hunting is like what I do for fun. Like I don't have to do it as a necessity anymore because the food took off to a point where I can just enjoy the other one for what it is.
Dude, and you're probably never gonna run out of places to eat.
I'm always going to be eating.
yeah.
It's true. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty replicatable, yeah.
Worst case, you have to go back to the same place and they just changed the whole menu.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you
or
get to
they have
redo
a
it.
new dish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a single new dish, I guess. Yeah.
Dude, that's freaking awesome, man. Well, we're gonna dive into these things because I'm real curious. I want to hear more about it and everything and what led you into those. But take us back. You know, we'd like for the audience to get to know the guests a little bit. You know, where are you from? Where do you reign from? Which I know that, but where did you start? You know, take us down your path a little bit and what led you to where you're at today.
Yeah. So I was actually born in Vegas, and we moved here when I was 6 months old. I've been here ever since in Nashville.
You're a gambler. That's like, you know.
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
It was built. You know, I would say that I would not go to Vegas for the mark of great people because like I know a ton of people in Vegas that are locals that Like they're like taking their kid's birthday money out of their card to go throw it at a slot machine and losing it all.
That's
So
shitty.
gambling's, I love gambling.
I look at gambling like you gamble, but you take gambles in life. You know, that's my way I look at it. Like from Vegas, you know, obviously we know what it's known for, but hey, you're willing to take gambles just to pursue your dreams, and I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy my casinos though, but I've gotten to the point now where I don't even waste money on slots. Like whatever money I'm taking in, let's say I'm taking in $1,000, I go for one spin. I'll go to roulette, throw it on one spin, black or red. If I win, I walk out. If I lose, I walk out.
Yeah.
And it saves me time. Sometimes it makes me money. Sometimes it loses me money.
Yeah.
But
you
know,
don't go crazy and lose it all.
No, and you got a better percentage of winning that than you do of sitting there waiting on a machine to give you something.
Yeah.
So
screw that.
I'd rather just go in and do that. But no, so I moved here when I was 6 months old. My dad's Hawaiian. My mom's from Nashville. And we moved back here because it's a lot cheaper than all the other places that we lived. It's like Hawaii super expensive even back then. And Vegas was more expensive than it is here. So we moved here. I went to school in Mount Juliet, played football at Mount Juliet, and then I went to college to play.
Y'all played football together, right? You and Logan did?
Indeed.
Okay.
I played, he was, I think,
1 year above you.
no, you were 2 years above me.
Wasn't he?
Yeah. So he was 2 years above me. So I think we had
He had a couple years ago.
2 years, yeah. But I played football, and then, which that in itself is a whole clusterfuck. But
Why is that?
I'll second that.
it's just I'm not gonna drag the dude, but it's just the people that were in place to help us move to the next level weren't ready to help us get to the next level.
Correct.
I think it's a lot better now than when we went, but like dudes throwing away letters, dudes like I had tickets to a Mizzou game that got delivered a week after the game, and you could see on the on the postage that it was paid to be delivered. And they didn't give it to me till the week after.
That's pretty shitty.
Listen, if you won't say it, I'll tell you. There's horror stories out the ass.
Yeah, I remember you talked about
Out
it.
the ass.
You talked about it in length before. Yeah.
Like
Which
that,
you
that's
hear it
yeah,
when you're there, and you're
Right.
like, oh, there's no way you can do
right,
that.
100%.
And you don't ever leave because you think that the program is what you think it is, but it's not.
Winning all the games, it's like, oh, this must be how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that exact story I've heard from more than one person. So almost like the exact same details of that.
Yeah.
And
which is
then
crazy.
one particular instance, I had the offensive line coach at the time from Memphis come in to talk to me. And I was texting this guy, so I knew he was coming to the school that day. And I was sitting in class, and you have to get pulled out by your coach to go up to the field house to meet with a coach. Mm-hmm. And my wife now was a manager then, and she's up there doing laundry, and the coach comes in, and she says, hey, he's here. And he asks for me, and my fucking coach tells him I wasn't at school.
What a dick.
And I'm sitting in fucking class waiting for the call, and me and her leave the school, and I'm like, well, I don't know what fucking happened because I was supposed to meet the guy. And he calls me. He goes, I come all this way, and you're not even at school the day I told you I'm coming. And I'm like,
I'm in class, man.
I was sitting in fucking class. Like,
Damn.
I just didn't get pulled out.
Dude, the same guy, almost exact same situation. I was supposed to come meet with him about recruiting stuff, and I caught him in his car leaving school. I'm like, where are you? I thought we were supposed to. Yeah, it's bad.
That's
It's
insane.
bad.
You know, it sounds like this guy just wants to tell a bunch of kids what to do and win games for his glory. But screw their opportunity because he maybe didn't get this. I don't know. It sounds like a very egotistic.
I think it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it looks like they're doing a lot better with recruiting.
But I think they're doing better with recruiting because they're not doing as well on the field. That's just
Maybe.
my opinion. But
Maybe.
they seem to switch that mindset as soon as they switch divisions and anyway, it's a whole Pandora's box.
But they have people now that are just there to help kids move to college,
That's
just
good.
there for recruiting. And I think that makes a big difference. There for a while, I had a lot of resentment. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Because you put in, 14 years of your life for this craft, and you're good at it.
And
then
you want to
just get
keep
fucked.
going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's shitty.
But, so I then go to Cumberland, and Cumberland was so shitty, and it was so hard to play at Cumberland because the facilities that I came from in high school were actually better than the ones I had in college. And I just lost the love for doing it. So I had a back injury, and I probably could have rehabbed it and came back, but I took that as my way to get out.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I had a scholarship and everything. Like I wasn't paying for school, but I was like, this is fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I committed to a smaller school out in McKinsey, Tennessee called Bethel. And that was the worst decision I ever fucking made. I stayed for 2 days and left. I was like, this place is a shithole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. So I called up the coach from Cumberland. I was like, hey, at least you're in Lebanon. Like, let me just come play there. And they're like, yeah, sure, come on. And then fucking Bethel, because I didn't even practice. Like, we had like one practice in 2 days, and they made me ineligible for an entire year just to be petty.
Damn.
Just because I left. So they're like, yeah, he saw our playbook, so he needs to be ineligible. I'm like, do you really think
That's so ridiculous.
I didn't even take the binder with me. Like I dropped it off at the office.
Yeah, trust me, I did not remember this shit.
I'm like a spy for Cumberland. You took some pictures real quick and transferred. Like,
Yeah, like
so
that's going to do
ridiculous.
anything anyway.
It's
Even
so
if you know
ridiculous.
the plays, you still
I
got to
didn't think
stop
they
them.
play each other. Do they even play
They
each
do.
other? Bethel and Cumberland
No,
play
they
each
do.
other?
Yeah, and
God
they
bless.
made me ineligible for a year, which I think was part of the problem. I was like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
So I take a year off, and then I go try and walk on at UT. And I had a spot under Butch Jones. Like, I had a preferred walk-on spot. So
Yeah.
I was at least, like, going to be on the team. And then he gets fired fucking December. And then fucking dumbass Pruitt comes in. And I kid you not, this was the dumbest fucking tryout I have ever heard of, seen, or done. Like, I'm an offensive lineman. And as part of our tryout process, they had us doing 5-yard dropbacks like I'm a fucking linebacker. And I didn't make it. And the kid they took above me, like, tore his ACL the first day they had him out there. So they called me back. But I'm one of those people, it's like the trap had shut. My mind was over. I'm like, fuck this place.
You're like, yeah, dude, my ACL's good, but y'all can't have me now.
Yeah, I'm like, I paid $14,000 just to come out here and get fucked because you fired Butch Jones and hired this other fucking idiot handing out money in McDonald's bags.
Damn.
And I mean, I was pissed. I was angry.
Yeah, of
'Cause I
course.
trained really hard for it. I was like 310 and I was solid. I was stronger than I've ever been. Stronger than like a quarter of the people they had on the fucking team.
Yeah. And that rubbed you wrong, and then it was no more football.
Yeah, because
after
it's
that.
like, why am I going to do a fucking 5-yard drop back?
Yeah.
That just tells me
Makes
they
no
weren't
sense.
trying to bring people in. They were just
Right.
Yeah.
trying to waste my fucking time and $14,000 of my money for a fucking semester there.
That's insane. Yeah.
So I fucking quit. I left and I switched to online school, and I was running an Amazon business during this entire time. So like from the ages of like 14 until COVID, essentially, I was running an e-commerce business where I was going to like third-party stores like Burlington Coat Factory, TJ Maxx, and buying shoes and then selling the shoes on Amazon for like triple or quadruple the price.
Really?
Yeah, and I did that at a scale. So I have this fucking story. I was 19 years old. I was right after I left UT, and I went up north and rented out a Penske truck. And me and my business partner at the time spent like $85,000 in actual retail locations and filled up an entire 26-foot Penske truck with fucking shoes.
And then you flipped them?
Yeah, but I was living in the back of the Penske while we were up there because I didn't want to like go into a hotel room and leave all the shoes in the fucking truck. So
Where was this at?
this was all in the Northeast. So
Okay.
like we did like 8 states to go to all these different stores. But I called it the Walmart rental program at the time because I'm very frugal, not as much anymore, but back then I really was. So I bought a cot, fucking used it for a week, and then just returned it. So I didn't.
That's fucking funny.
You're like, I don't need this thing.
And I weighed more than the weight limit, so I bent that thing to shit.
Yeah.
So like I take it back in and it's all fucking deformed.
No, it was like that. Sorry. No, I bought it like that. I don't know.
And Walmart doesn't fucking question anything. You got a receipt, they'll fucking take, like you could eat half a fucking container of Oreos. And they'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm like, yeah, these didn't taste right. And they'll be like, oh, okay, here you go. Here's
Yeah,
your-
I feel like Amazon's like that too.
yeah. Like Amazon, half the time they're like, yeah, you don't even have to send it back.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll have this thing. I'll get something. And I'll be like, oh, I'll use this. I need it for something, and then I'm like, dude, I'll never need this shit again. Here you go.
fucking return it.
Get my money back.
That's
Hell
what
yeah.
everybody did with those goggles, the Apple Vision Pro.
Oh, really?
They bought them, made
Send 'em
videos
back?
with them, and then sent them back.
That's crazy.
Oh, really?
That's genius. I almost did it, but I didn't want to. I was in the UK when they came out, and I didn't want to buy them over there. But yeah, that's what a lot of people did. Is they bought
That's
the
smart.
fucking $3,500 goggles
Yeah.
and made all their content that they wanted to make with it when it came out.
Made a lot more than $3,500.
Send it back.
Dude, hell yeah. Hey, screw them, dude. I'm not a big fan of the goggles anyways.
I'm not a big fan of Apple anyway. But yeah.
I've got so much Apple shit though, because like once you get in that ecosystem, it's really hard to get out.
That's how they get you.
But I mean, for me, it's so much easier to edit between my like the laptop that I have and my Mac Studio. It's awesome. But back to the back to the story. Good. I can get into tech all day. But so I'm doing this e-commerce thing. I'm living in the back of a Penske truck, selling shit. I mean, I did $1 million for like 6 years in a row in sales, right? And when I was in high school, I bought a brand new car in cash, and people thought I was a drug dealer because I was just out here like flipping shoes on Amazon.
Dude, I'm just been at Burlington, guys.
I'm just like, guys, I'm literally at Burlington Coat Factory, like scanning barcodes, finding shoes.
Yeah.
But I got to the point where I could like look at anyone's shoes and I could tell you what they were worth, like just because of that's how many fucking pairs of shoes that I had to look at.
Oh shit.
But that all stopped with COVID. Like the moment COVID hit, I had just racked up debt because I took out a loan to buy more shoes because I was like, oh, I'm going to dump some more money into this so I can make more. And they pretty much put everything on like a screeching halt and brought everything to a stop. And pretty much anything that you inventoried took like a couple months for it to actually hit the warehouse for it to be sold. Damn. And it fucked up everything.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I also started like a wedding videography business at the time, and I was doing that, which I'm on the very end of that. Like I'm doing my very last wedding that was booked 2.5 years ago in like 3 days. And I will never fucking do another wedding ever.
I do not blame you.
Again.
Yeah.
They are not fun.
No, the people are.
So
worst.
you're about to do one?
Yes, my one that was booked 2.5 years ago.
Damn.
And I could have refunded it and not done it, but
you should. You committed.
I've already made the money. Yeah. Might as well just go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that, and then when COVID hit, I lost my Amazon business. My brother is a plumber, well now an HVAC guy out in Utah, so he's like, hey, just come out here, and be a plumber for. The time being, which that shit makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like if I had a kid today, I'd tell him fucking go into a trade if you don't want to open your own business.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in it for sure.
Yeah, because everybody's always going to be shitting. Everybody's always going to be hot or cold.
And it's always valuable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just something that, like I've got 2 degrees and they're not even worth the fucking paper they're printed on.
Yeah, I feel you there.
But, so I go out there and I'm doing drain. I was a drain technician. So like I dealt with if your shit ever backed up or plumbing issues. I did all that. And I actually quit that job because I was the marketing director of a bourbon company. And let me tell you this.
Dude, you had a lot of different, I'm just gathering you a lot of different things.
Yeah, so I was the marketing director of this bourbon company, and this guy was a fucking psycho. Like he was in the Marine Corps, which, I don't have any issue. I got 2 sisters in the Navy. My dad's in the military. My grandpa's military. But this guy was fucking nuts. Like, I don't know if he's got something wrong, but he'd fucking call me on Thanksgiving at like 6 o'clock in the morning asking about me fucking posting shit.
Is he the guy that owned the...
Yeah, dude's a fucking drunk. Like I was having, every time we had like a company event or like something that we were doing, I was fucking babysitting his ass. Ugh. And I hate doing that.
Yeah, no, screw that.
So I fucking, and not to mention he was always late paying me and I was doing way more than I was being paid for. So he told me, he was like, he got pissed off when I quit. And he's like, you just don't know how to do social media. And I was like, okay. Because I brought their account. I pretty much revived it. So that company used to be a part of Grunt Style.
Oh, okay.
And then they got cut from Grunt Style or left Grunt Style for whatever reason. It is all drama shit. And I actually got their Instagram account in like a month and a half. I grew them about 4K. Up until that point, they hadn't grown in fucking years. Yeah. And since I left, they have not grown at all.
And then you said, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and he told me I didn't know what I was doing in social media, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that put a chip on your shoulder.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like, fucking,
Let me show you, Dick.
So I go back, and I did an internship for the Capitol, and I actually did his podcast when he was doing that, talking about waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym and fucking going to, I was a legislative assistant. I was an intern at the time with him. And then I actually went back to work there to be a legislative assistant for one of the members there. But that's just a miserable place to work.
He was clean cut.
Yeah.
Let me tell you too. He was clean cut, but he had short hair,
Short
no
hair,
beard.
no
Yeah, I remember. I think I remember seeing some photos.
He's a clean cut young man.
Yeah.
Not
What exactly were you doing for him?
So the actual thing with that is like most of your representatives, the older ones especially, don't know fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like you got to tell these people to go fucking to the bathroom sometimes. Like some of them don't need to be there. The guy I worked for wasn't that bad. He was really nice. One of the guys, the first guy I worked for was incredible. The second guy I worked for wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
But it's just like working with some of the other representatives was what was really shitty. Because some of these dudes, like I know for certain there's one guy, and he was a newer representative in Tennessee, was drunk going to the floor to make votes on laws. Like
That doesn't surprise me.
unfortunately, it
and,
doesn't.
and obviously I'm not like I'm not a person that's gonna like take this to the news and fucking I don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It just showed me that what I already thought was a flawed system is even more fucking flawed.
Of course.
And it's crazy too because a lot of them they put on this persona that they're like Democrats versus Republicans, but then they're all getting lunch with each other after the fucking
It's all a game.
meetings. Yeah, it's all a facade. And after being in that long enough, I was like, I can't fucking do this.
That's
So,
good. It's good you recognize that.
Yeah. I'm not good at putting a smile on my face if I don't want to. So it's like every day when you got to put on a suit and tie and you fucking act like you like everybody when in actuality you fucking hate like everyone there.
Yeah.
It's just hard to do.
It sounds gross.
Yeah,
Sounds not like
but there's people that do that. There's people that will put up with that for their whole life because of the stability provided. I mean, great benefits working for the state. The money would have been better if I would have stayed, but it doesn't pale to what I'm doing now.
No.
But I went and shot a quinceañera in Texas. Like this is just a random gig that I had for videography, and my wife and her mom at the time were doing photography. So we did like a package where we went and shot a quinceañera in Texas.
Yeah.
And I was already doing ghost hunting. So like when I was 18, after watching the shows, I had an experience in Shiloh, Tennessee at the battlefield when I was 11, where I saw a Civil War drummer boy that I thought was a reenactor, but then I watched him dissipate into the air. Like that's what started my ghost hunting journey was I see this kid that I thought was real, and then I watch him just.
So were you at this point, were you like videoing or like talking about it, or were you just doing it for
I was just doing it
yourself?
for fun. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to, like, there's a hotel in, I guess it's Middle Tennessee. It's probably like 2 hours from Nashville, but it's like this haunted hotel. And that was the first place that I really went to like investigate. And I had a blast doing it. Like, because I'm a very math and science-based person.
Mm-hmm.
So to have something in my life that there is not like a black and white to,
Yeah.
it's really nice. It gives me a nice break because then it's all just theory. But I started that when I was 18. I did it, for a few years. And then we go down to Texas. And like anytime we traveled anywhere, I'd always try and stay in like a haunted hotel or whatever, just because I was interested. And my wife's like, well, why don't you film it and post it on TikTok? Because I had tried content before. Like I tried gaming. I was streaming to an audience of fucking 2 people for like 6 months when COVID hit.
You're like, hell yeah. You're like your best friends.
One of them is my wife, and the other one's my fucking backup phone. So it's like no one's watching, right? And I was streaming to nobody and making content for nobody. And she tells me to, why don't you post this on TikTok and see how it does? I was like, sure, whatever. So we make videos, and it gets like 10,000 views, which going from no views to 10,000, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So I posted a few more, and within like, I don't know, probably like 2 weeks, I'd hit 10,000 followers off of just posting ghost stuff. So I'm sitting at work, like trying to figure out how in my lunch break I can go down to like cemeteries, and like at the Capitol, there's actually 2 people that are buried there. So like making stories about that on my lunch break. And like once you're out of session in Tennessee, because they're not in session all year round, you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah.
Like I can guarantee you right now, there's someone sitting down at the offices at the Capitol building that's like beating their head against the wall out of boredom because there's nothing to do when you're out of session.
I can imagine.
You send a few emails, you answer the phone when somebody calls, which for some people, like depending on where your district is, can be busier than others. But
I'm wondering, are you ready to channel your ancestral power and gain the knowledge of the runes? Look no further than Desert Rose Arts. Check out Danny at Desert Rose Arts on Instagram. She makes these one-of-a-kind malas with 108 runes carved into them in order for you to really gather that ancestral magic. Check it out. This is a small business. We'd love for you to show her some support. Use code RP15 at checkout. And show some love. Thanks.
All right, guys. So all my social medias can be found Kalani Ghost Hunter on pretty much every platform. I have 2 different YouTube channels, Kalani Ghost Hunter and Kalani and Sav. One is a food and travel channel. The other is a ghost hunting channel.
We are canceled from IG. So check us out at Facebook at Relentless Pursuit on there. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/The Relentless Pursuit Podcast. Also on our website, relentlesspursuitlifestyle.com, you can subscribe to the email where I send a bunch of things out there. And new to TikTok, but making that happen, check us out on TikTok at RP_SweetPea, where I'll be making it a little bit more personal, but also posting a lot of content from here. And we're just going to be navigating all the socials as we grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't like abiding by people's rules.
No, me neither.
You're good.
That would suck away the passion.
Yeah.
You know, and I love doing this.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there putting fucking rules on it, that would make it just dreadful.
Yeah, because then it's not real.
Yeah. Because I don't believe, I'm not one to believe in just sucking it up for money. Because the concept of money drives me nuts anyways.
Well, there's always somebody else out there with money that believes in what you believe in anyway. So
yeah. And then they'll stand by you oh shit, this person, they don't give a fuck. They're staying true to themselves. And people respect that.
Yeah.
So, all right, my man.
All right,
So,
back to the grind here, really quick. So
Yeah.
I gotta get you. Well, this story doesn't have much more until we get to where we're at. So I leave the political space with 10,000 followers. I was not making the money to leave. I literally had just married my wife a few months prior, and we were living with her parents just to give me enough time to buy us a spot. And I quit my job and just went for it. And it started off really slow. And I got to the point where I was so committed to making it work that I just fucking got in my Ford Explorer, fucking put all the seats down, put a mini air mattress in the back, and bought cans of tuna at fucking Walmart.
Nice.
And I'm just living in the back of this truck going live on TikTok 3-4 times a week, just traveling all over the U.S., dumping every cent I had into continuing to make money. Mm-hmm. And then it just started to go. So, after a few months of doing it at that pace, posting 3 or 4 times a day, doing live streams 3 or 4 times a week, if not more, it started to climb really quick. Yeah. So by October of that year, it hit 200,000 followers. And then they actually kept banning that account. So they banned that account, or it was on a temporary ban. So I made a new account. And this new account just started, and I went to Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky.
Heard of that one.
Yeah. So I went to Waverly Hills. I made one video. That video hit 20 million views.
So you're just rolling up there by yourself, right?
Yeah.
No crew?
Yeah, no. So that time, actually, I was with other people because Waverly's expensive. Oh. Waverly's $1,100 a night just to rent it out for 8 hours.
Damn.
So you split it up with 10 people, and you're looking at $100.
So I want to know, if everybody died there, who's making that money? Where's that going to?
That goes. So there's ownership now. The people own the building.
Oh,
yeah. So they
makes sense.
They replace windows and a lot of it. I'm sure it's a business, so they're got to be making money, but a lot of it goes back into restoring or keeping the building,
keeping
up.
the history alive. Yeah.
Is that how a lot of those places work when you want to go scout or investigate somewhere?
Yeah.
You have to rent
Conjuring
it out?
House is $1,400.
Gotcha. So you rent the place out to go do your investigation.
And that one's got so much fame built off of, the movies and stuff like that too. Obviously.
Oh, the
there's more of a
Conjuring
demand.
House. Okay.
The
Conjuring
actual house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Gotcha.
actual house.
Yeah. Yeah, because of the movies and stuff, I'm sure they're let's amp this price up a little bit.
Well, and that's one of the things that I've really noticed from when I started to now is it's all these places have really started to up their price. So the Bell Witch Cave in Clarksville, or Adams, Tennessee, I guess, is $2,000.
The cave is?
For one night to film.
You know where Werewolf Springs is there, right?
I've heard of it. I've never been.
It's at the same, because what's the name of that park?
I can't.
I don't know. The guys and I did like this ritual out there with like wolf pelts because they got Well Springs, and we were like on mushrooms and we were journeying through at like 2 a.m., dude. And we did this crazy like old ritual. And I'm like, dude, imagine someone's just in these fucking woods and they just see these tiki torches and like wolf pelts.
Fucking confused.
Yeah, they're like, what? This is Werewolf Springs? What the hell? Anyway,
Somebody got some really good content that night. They were like,
I know it's close to that though.
Yeah.
The Bell Witch Cave over there, but
yeah, so I posted a video from Waverly Hills, and that account hit 1 million followers in like a month and a half.
damn.
So that's the account that like is verified and is my account now. But meteoric climb on it, and not to mention people already knew who I was on the platform because at that time there wasn't that many people doing what I do on TikTok at least. So I crank out another year worth of content, did a bunch of cool stuff, but my wife's mother actually died that following year. So she was able to go with me more because like her and her mom were running a business.
Okay.
And once she passed, like she doesn't want to do that business anymore because like that was their thing.
Yeah.
And I was really close to her parents. So it's like it wasn't like an in-law of mine died because I grew up with my wife. Like,
yeah.
We've been together since I was 16 years old.
Sweet.
So, her parents were my parents.
That's a tough one, yeah.
So her mom dies. She didn't die of COVID, which fucking that whole thing is a mess.
It is.
But she was given this drug called remdesivir, which it's not even. I don't think they even can prescribe it to people anymore because it killed so many people. But they gave her this drug because the hospital got a kickback if you use this certain treatment. And she was turning a corner. They give her this drug. Next day, she's in the ICU, and like a week later, she dies.
Damn, like just shortly after being on this drug.
Yeah.
did they give her that drug for COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she went into the hospital because she had like a kidney infection or something. And they're like, well, you have COVID, so we're going to have to put you in the COVID.
Oh, yeah,
ward.
they did that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they get money.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
it's
course.
all money. And, she dies of pneumonia, but they said it was because of COVID, right? And my wife went every day for like a month just looking through this window to talk to her mom. They wouldn't let anybody else in with her.
Sickening.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's fucking. That's why when the moment the government cares about my fucking health, I'm running the other way.
Yeah.
Because if they truly cared about us and our health and making people better, fucking McDonald's would have been closed 10 years ago, or at least would have had the stuff taken out of it that literally should not be going.
Yeah,
into
the
us.
food wouldn't be what it is here.
Like that's my thing is if they fucking cared about us, all of this other shit would have been fixed way before COVID ever showed up.
Without a doubt, dude.
And I was in China the week COVID started. Like I took this random ass trip to China for $500 that I booked through some like travel agency. But you got to go over there and sit through all these like fucking like sales pitches on like silk factories and all this other random shit. But it was $500 and I wanted to see the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
So I go to China and I'm coming home, and on my flight home, they give me this weird health screening. And I was like, well, that's
You're like, what the fuck's
weird.
going on here?
Yeah, like, well, I didn't remember doing this coming. And, like a month later, I'm working at the Capitol, and it's like COVID-19 outbreak in Wuhan, China. And I'm like, when did that start? Fucking the week I was there.
Yeah, that was right when I was flying back from, I was in Patagonia, Chile, when all that kicked off. Like I had been hiking for like 7 days without a phone service for a while. And then I get back to the town and it's like COVID takes off in the States. And I'm like, I don't even want to go back. I just want to stay here in the mountains. But
I don't blame you.
I did come back, but yeah, it was just all this crazy shit. But
You almost got what you wished for, whether you wanted it or not. If you would have stayed there just a little longer, they wouldn't have let you come back.
yeah, probably, to be honest.
Yeah, like that all that shit was so stupid.
Yeah,
the whole thing was just fucking dumb. And I'm glad that I live where I live when that happened. Because like here, I mean, there were some places you could go where there was that shit. But then there's others, people are like, fuck it. Do whatever you want. Fucking I don't care.
For sure.
So I'm like, at that point, I'm happy I live here because, other parts of the fucking U.S. were fucking Soviet Russia.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad here at all.
No, like, I mean, you go downtown and it was different, but you stay out of downtown, you barely notice.
Yeah, any city you go to, that scale is going to be a little bit more of that side with things, but it is what it is.
But yeah, so her mom dies of COVID, and I'm still doing it at the pace I was doing it at. Making a YouTube video a week, live streaming like fucking crazy. getting in the news for ghost hunting, which I don't ever read those comments because fucking anytime you get in big news, just don't read the comments. Like that's something that I've really learned being in social media and having the level of success is you just can't read shit because
Just posting ghost.
That's it.
Ghost.
That's fucking it. Because
that was a good one.
Yeah.
it's just abysmal because you got people that would never say that shit to your face.
100%.
But because they have that safety of sitting behind their phone, fucking sitting on the couch.
Well, I've noticed a lot of those comments aren't even people that have verified accounts even.
No.
Like the people that are anonymous with a little, L as their,
Yeah, it's like somebody that made an account just so they could talk shit.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, like when my wife, her video went up with her story of like domestic violence and what happened to her, people just like, where's the context? She probably deserved it and all this shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm just about to put my address for this building up on this freaking comment thread. And you know what I'm saying? Because like, I obviously take it personal because it's my wife.
Yeah.
So it drove me nuts. But, eventually I was just like, fuck them, dude. I'm not even going to like get involved with this
encourage
because
it
it
now.
fires me up.
Because I'll get on Facebook and if somebody says something shitty, I'll just piss them off because I get paid every time somebody comments.
Right. It's just engagement.
So I'm just like, oh, hey, motherfucker, come again. Like somebody wrote on there, like when I was doing the UK food videos, they're like, take your ass home or something. And I was like, buy my ticket, daddy. And then like fucking a huge comment thread. And I'm like, thanks for making me money today.
Right.
Dude, okay, maybe I'll go back to those posts and just start talking shit.
Usually what I'll say like on people's accounts that I manage, we just had one the other day with Danny, just somebody said something fucking horrible to Danny. And I just responded, I was like, appreciate the comment and the view. Like really helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
And they hate that shit. They hate it because they thought they got to you.
Yeah, they feel like they did something. And then you're like, hey, thanks for making me more money today. And they're like,
hate
nah,
that
I fucking
They
hate you.
hate that shit.
Like,
But
have fun at work tomorrow, bud.
I did tell him about his wife's episode, and the episode right after that was with a girl who shot herself. And I was like, I really wouldn't even look at the comments.
No,
Like, for these two episodes in particular, you don't look at them. I will handle them because they're going to be bad. And sure enough, people.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is you got to have really thick skin, and the bigger you go, the worse it gets.
Of course.
But that's part of the price you pay to make the money, right? Is like you have to deal with people, which 9 out of 10 comments are probably fine.
Yeah.
But the 10th one's the one that'll fucking piss you off.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
No, it
doesn't do anything.
Some dude watching your shit.
Yeah.
And then, that's just part of the game. But so anyways, her mom dies. I'm still filming. I've been to so many haunted places across the U.S. Fucking almost all the big ones I've knocked out. And then fast forward to this past year, and then her dad dies. So like both of her parents were under like 55 and under.
Yeah.
So she's an only child. Her dad dies, and we're just like, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right. So we're both going through the grieving process and.
How long after this the mother was this?
It was a little bit over a year, probably like a year and 3 months.
That's so close.
25 years old and both your parents are fucking dead.
Fuck, that sucks.
But I mean, I think I'm always a person that looks at life with the context of everything that happens to me, for me, or against me is all there's a purpose.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I have to be able to take that purpose and use that to continue on to my next step.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that I've really had to mature and learn is, shit, we're all going to die.
Facts.
Right? Like, I don't care what you do, how much money you got. Everything we have in this life is rented.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the car you drive to the money in your bank account, the moment you die, that's just going to whoever you tell it to go to.
Yep.
You don't own anything. Right? So if your entire purpose is to work, get a career, get a retirement set up and, live your life till whenever you die and just have that 9 to 5 mindset.
The only thing that's eternal is within you.
Yeah.
That's why I put such an emphasis on the spiritual aspect and the things that are deeper. That's why I'll never kilk out for a dime.
Yeah.
Because this is the only thing that lasts.
Yep.
And if I take the easy route or like the comfortable route, then I'm selling myself out,
Well, and the other thing is, it's like right now, and I tell people this all the time, the people that come after us will know more about us as people than anyone that's ever walked the earth. Mm. Like, we're not depending upon some scribe to sit here and write about how Joe was.
Yeah.
Joe can sit here and fucking say how Joe was.
Just get on the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. So, like, there's no shame to the OnlyFans people if that's what you want to do to fucking make a buck. But when you're 60 years old, your fucking grandkid's like, oh, hey, grandma, I just saw you getting fucked yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to say?
Dude, that's a fact, man.
Well, hey, I did it for like a couple grand.
You can't unlive it.
Yeah. So it's like, own it. That's fine. But it's just for me, everything that I do and everything that I make, I know that one day the people that come after me will be able to go back and see everything that I did in my life.
Facts, dude.
And, like there's this theory about the Mexican deaths. There's 3 Mexican deaths. You have birth, death, and then the last time your name's ever uttered on this earth. Right. And, with the amount of stuff that I want to make and do and tell stories, I can live on through the things that I produce.
Yeah.
Which I can leave millions of dollars to my family. I can leave a house. I can leave all this other shit. But I think wisdom will carry more weight than any of that ever will.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it's like you can teach somebody, you can give somebody fish, but it's a lot more beneficial to them if you just teach them how to use a fishing rod.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people have missed out on. There's so much entitlement in our society today. Like, there's fucking millions or hundreds of thousands of kids right now fucking twiddling their thumbs in China, making shit for us over here to use.
Yeah.
Right? And people over here bitch about the dumbest shit because they don't have any kind of problems in their life. So we just start inventing fucking problems.
Yeah. And they have, exactly. It's people that have probably 10 times more than those people, even at the bottom of the barrel here, like, with as far as material goes, probably have 10 times more than any of those kids will ever have.
Yeah.
And those kids, a lot of times, are probably happier than these people are. They probably bitch about a lot less.
Because they don't know that there's supposed to be another perspective that they should have.
Yeah. And the wild thing is that any of that could be stripped away from us like that.
Yep.
Like immediately. And people just, what happens then? You know?
Like if we took out our power grid for 2 weeks, you would see the animalistic side of people come out.
Yeah.
Because you either have to have means or you have to have the ability to take. And that's what it would turn back into. Like, we have come so far that we are now just inventing fucking problems for ourselves because we've solved so many, like, issues that everything is so comfortable that we're just coming up with shit.
Yeah.
And you can take that many different routes. But honestly, it's like we're at a point now, like if World War II happened tomorrow and we needed people in this country to step up to go storm the beaches of Normandy, we're fucked.
Oh, without a doubt.
We're fucked. I mean, we got people sitting at home bitching about the dumbest shit, fucking twiddling their thumbs. Like, what's really made me upset is people have tried to demonize being a man and masculinity. Everything turns into toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
But me and my wife have this thought, right, that, men are good at certain things, women are good at certain things, and they complement each other's things.
Yeah, it's traditional values pretty much.
Yeah. And I think, we're at a time now where a lot of women, there's obviously independence in that, which is fine. Like, I'm for women voting, women having equal careers, all of that. But I feel like the moment you try and be something other than a woman, like in terms of like what you're doing in your day-to-day life in that traditional set like me and my wife have, it's like you've demonized being a man. And I think that's part of the problem.
Well, you see it in TV and movies and everything. Also, they're trying to make women more masculine. Yeah. And there's a reason for that. The way I look at it is like Lord of the Rings, right? You look at like Galadriel, in the older movies, she's just like this epitome of feminine power, right? She's got a lot of power, but she just holds it in a very feminine manner. And then you take it to like the new Amazon series and she's got armor and she's carrying a sword. I'm like, to me, I see it deeper than what people are like, oh, she just got armor on. But I'm like, no, they're making her more of a masculine figure and keeping her that feminine figure, which I find is a lot more powerful and for women in general. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
I think women, people always say women are a lot more emotional than men, which is true, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I think there's a lot more empathy. Obviously, there's a lot more care and a lot more articulation when it comes to thought, and it's not as emotionally charged as it is with men. Yeah. But I think that's part of what is hurting all of us so bad is the traditional sense of a man is just being destroyed.
Oh, without a doubt.
And people are okay with it. Like, people are just like tucking their dicks in and running. Yeah. And I think that's partly where it's hard for me because it's like, if I want to bring kids into this world, what am I bringing them into?
Yeah.
Like, even from when I was a kid compared to now, it's just wild.
Well, but you got the right mindset, right? It's like I look at I've got a 9-month-old daughter, and people are like, oh, like, what do you think about with the world and everything? I'm like, dude, she's going to be a strong individual. Like my wife and I put a lot of intention towards like how she's raised and the things she understands and believes in, stands for. So like, I just don't stress it. You know what I'm saying? I think it just, because at the end of the day, it starts with you.
Yeah. And I mean, and you're the one that controls, like, I think this sounds really bad because I've made my living off of social media, but social media has ruined a lot of what used to be a childhood.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to a 14-year-old now, it's like talking to a 20-year-old. Like their mindset, because they see there's so much absorption of what's going on in the world, and there's so much being posted that people are losing that sense of being a kid. Like they're just being robbed because, like, you go on TikTok and you scroll and it's like, chicks shaking their ass, people talking about crazy shit, and it's accessed by everybody.
Yeah.
Which every platform's like that. I mean, Instagram's the same way, Twitter's the same way, Facebook's the same way. It's not the platform. It's literally just, we're at a point now where there's so much technology and ways to disperse it that, if you're not in control of whatever someone is watching, then good luck.
I mean, my wife's already talked about it. I mean, obviously we can't hide her away from everything, right? There needs to be exposure and understanding of the world, what's going on. But it's like, no, dude, we go to dinner. We're not giving her the iPad to entertain her. We're not starting that.
Yeah.
Like if she sees me on my phone, like I got to work from my phone a lot.
Yeah.
But like if she reaches for it, I put it away. Like, nope, we don't do phones.
Yeah, the iPad kid thing drives me fucking nuts.
And it's like, oh, well, it keeps them, from acting up during dinner. I'm like, just fucking do something with them. I don't know, like grab a piece of paper, start drawing some shit. Like,
well, but here's the problem. This is the fucking problem. This is why it starts. It starts with a fucking iPad. Mm-hmm. And then 15 years later, they're expecting somebody to fucking hand them something the moment there's something wrong.
Yeah.
It sounds really stupid, but the moment you set that standard of whenever you're upset, we're going to give you something, and you just start handing them an iPad, the iPad turns into fucking money. The iPad turns into whatever they think they deserve. When in actuality, life's just going to eat you up and shit you out and not give two fucks.
Yeah. I mean, and even my wife calls me out. Like, I got a little girl, so she's got me wrapped around a damn thing. And I got to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So she'll like grab for something, and I'll be like, nope. And then she'll scream for it. And I'll be like, okay. And she's like, Joe, don't do that. And I'm like, damn it, you're right, honey. So, but it's easy to do, but you got to be really aware. And I think, that the whole iPad, all this dumb shit, man, all that stuff that they use to distract kids from being noisy at dinner or something, that was never a thing before. Deal with it.
Yeah,
kids are going to be noisy.
Send them outside, let them run around.
I don't give a fuck if these people are upset that my baby's crying. They cried one day when they were a baby too. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, it's part of life. And obviously, if it's just crazy, it's like you might need to separate from from wherever you're at. But I just think that's a massive, just distractions, man. And, but you talked about the state of where people are. And I was talking about this with my brothers the other day. And I was like, everybody's like, oh, be prepared. Get ammo and have cash, which to me, I think is crazy to have cash because if the financial system crashes, cash is just going to be used for fires. Yeah. I don't know why people just think that's such a valuable thing.
your bank account's just numbers on a screen.
Yeah. So cash is worthless.
Yeah, the whole society crumbles, but thank God you got some fucking hundos.
Yeah, right. Hey, I got this. Okay, just light it on fire.
It's just like the Confederate money. The Confederate money's not worth shit.
Exactly.
You could have racks of Confederate money. It isn't worth a fucking dime.
That's the thing, man. And it's just like, people are like, have all this. And like, I got some bare minimum stuff I need, some food and whatnot. But I can't afford to spend hundreds of $1,000s on a bunker and all that shit. But like, I went to the store, I went to Walmart or something, and I was walking around, and I was like, dude, I think I'm going to be okay. Like, I got a strong mindset. I know how to protect my family as a man. A lot of these people are going to be in bad shape, man. I think just that process of elimination is going to happen a lot quicker than people realize, dude, because most of these people ain't going to be able to fend for themselves, and they're going to have just minus TV and just their phone and everything. They're just going to lose it. Yeah,
and I'm sick of my shit.
Yeah.
Like, my phone every day sits on Do Not Disturb. I don't look at it. I go on there. I post my shit. Yeah. I'm like the hardest person to ever, because I just hate seeing it. Because if I left my phone on, it's just bzz, 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 and I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to do it. I'll post my stuff. I'll engage when I have to. And the rest of my life, I want to spend enjoying the moment. Like, I went to a concert yesterday, or 2 days ago. I went to Falling in Reverse. And You know, I enjoyed the concert. I maybe took 2 clips just to post in my story.
Yeah.
But I watched the entire fucking time. People just sitting there holding their phone, just recording it. You're never going to watch
Dude,
that.
I've seen people do that. I'm like, why?
You're never going to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to enjoy being in that moment for what it is, you're just sitting there worried about capturing it on your phone.
Yeah.
For what?
It's insane. It's
Like,
insanity.
and like you look at people, they'll take pictures of everything, they'll record whatever, but it never goes anywhere. It just sits on their phone. And like, what's the point in recording it? If like for me, like I said, I want to set it up right now. Like the ghost hunting was what got me started, but now I'm really into storytelling.
Yeah.
So like when I go back to the UK, I have this whole series where I'm going inside of people's houses. I don't think I mentioned the UK shit yet, but I go into people's houses and I like interview them about what they do for work and like about their heritage. And then we're going to cook a meal and eat inside their house.
Dude, can I join you one day for one of these?
Yeah.
Because that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to do that because I think that's like where you actually get to taste the real food of a place and actually get to meet people. And I want to tell those stories.
Yeah.
And like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to produce.
The more cultural, like deep rooted stuff, man. That's awesome. And I want to dive more into that. I want to talk about the world stuff too. Cause I can get fired up about all this. And real quick though, you talk about the masculinity thing. And like, that's why my brothers and I have what we do. You know, our beliefs are rooted in like our ancestral beliefs. Because we can take a lot from that. We can understand that real well. And there's a huge emphasis on masculinity. So like, yeah, you see us screwing off and like putting our prospect through stuff. But at the end of the day, like we have tenets we stand for, you know, where you have to be an artist. You have to train combatives. You have to do this. You have to do that. Like we hold each other to a standard. If anybody's lacking, we call them the fuck out because we want us to be the best versions of ourselves, right? And be what men are supposed to embody. And I think there's a lack of stuff like that, you know? I think more men need that kind of tribe.
Well, and I think like, you know, for lack of a better term, some people just haven't been hit in the fucking mouth before.
Yeah.
Like physically or metaphorically. Like a lot of people just haven't been hit in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
So until you have that hit in the mouth moment, like you're just cruising along. But I think there's so many people now that are gauge of what actually is a problem. And like I said, like, you know, all of us are going to go through death. All of us are going to have people around us die. All of us are going to have shit happen to us that we can't control, that we could just fold up and fucking fall right there. But I think the biggest thing that I tell people is it's like we can't control our situations, but we can control our reactions to every situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you know, 2 parents of my wife's died, I could have easily fallen. Because here's the thing is it's like, you know, when one partner starts to falter, you have to stand. People always say relationships are 50-50, but that's not true.
No.
Sometimes it's 70-30. Sometimes it's 40-60. Sometimes it's 90-10, right? And I think right now you're seeing, like, in the relationships or something else, like, you know, people don't get married anymore because it's just cheaper not to.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, for me, one of the biggest blessings I have is a stable relationship that I've had for years. Mm-hmm. And it's something I continually have to work on and cultivate, but she travels with me everywhere. That's like my other camera person.
Hell yeah.
And her whole life now, which she got drug into ghost hunting. She hates ghost hunting. Like
Does it spook her, or she just doesn't?
It's just not her thing.
Yeah.
Like she'd rather go to like Ulta and buy fucking skincare, which I love. I love going to Ulta.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Stuff. I gotta keep my hair looking nice and fresh. But it's been crazy because she doesn't. And I think part of her problem is she doesn't have an identity. It's just Kalani's wife or Savannah the Ghost Hunter, right? Like that's her identity. And I think that's something that we've had to like really kind of grow into the role. And like whenever you get really big too, you get some wild messages.
I can imagine, yeah.
Wild. Like people out of pocket, women writing crazy shit. And I'm like, I literally see your husband in your fucking profile photo.
Yeah.
And you're saying this shit.
Honestly, I just get dudes messaging me stuff.
Usually if you
like
do
out of pocket
anything
stuff. I'm like, Jesus Christ, sorry. I mean, honestly, like women, like they're like, okay, I respect you. Like, yeah, dude, it's most of men. I'm like, what the heck?
I've noticed
the women are like, the way you stand up for masculinity, and then the men are like, bro, I'm trying to get in there. You know?
Wow, dude, I'm like, hey.
I've had a few. I had one guy message me, and he said, I'm a virgin power bottom, and I would like for you to, you know. And I said, how do you know you're a power bottom if you're a virgin? He didn't even write back.
He's like, God damn it, didn't think about that.
Got me.
What am I thinking?
Got to get a better line.
Come on, man.
Hey, at least you tried, dude. Shoot
shot
your shot.
Yeah, I was
they
about
say.
to say, he shot his shot, dude.
I mean, this is an exit only, but you know, that's at least tried.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Well,
let me reset this up real quick. We got like a minute.
Okay. Should I piss real quick? Yeah. Okay. I don't really get into watch a movie. Jesus Christ.
Shit.
Well, a lot of the movies suck nowadays. There's nothing good. Like I get on Netflix and I'm like,
Trash.
I don't want to fucking watch any of this. It's like, all right, Vampire Diaries it is.
I've seen a lot of Vampire Diaries. I'm not hitting on it. I couldn't ever watch it again, but the first time I watched it was
I'm about to be on season 7, dude.
Well, Marcus rewatched the whole goddamn thing about 3 times, and that's when it starts to drive me crazy. I'm like, you know what's going to happen. How is this even fun? I don't, like...
But it's just like something like The Office, right? Like, I've seen The Office a million times.
The Office I can rewatch.
You just keep putting it on.
Yeah, I'm not a big rewatcher person, but...
I put like, if all else fails and it's just like me, I just put Lord of the Rings on all the time.
Yeah.
Any one of the main 3.
Yeah.
This is the usual. All right. Real quick. Shit, where were we at? Fuck.
I don't even remember either. We were talking about...
I do want to ask. This was on my mind. So, you said the first time you went ghost hunting was at that when you saw the drummer kid, right?
No, that was just the first experience I ever had.
Okay. Well, what drove you to like go ghost hunting, anyways?
So I used to watch. Me and my dad used to watch Ghost Adventures. Zach Bagans, and after that experience I had when I was 11, I had a lot more interest in the ghost hunting shows. But I always used to watch them and be like, is that really how it is? Like, this dude's like getting possessed, like fucking punching the wall, like screaming, all this crazy shit. So I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I went, and it's not how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it can be like that.
Yeah. What would be like your craziest?
Like, okay, so I was in this farmhouse in Kentucky, and I'm sitting there doing EVP session, which is electronic voice phenomenon. Essentially, you have like a recorder, and the recorder can pick up frequencies that your ears can't. So you can be sitting in a room completely quiet and catch a voice, right? So I'm sitting there doing one of these, and I hear and feel something running towards me. Like, you can hear the steps. I could feel the wind. I jump because I thought I was about to get tackled, and there's nothing there. Weird. Like, absolutely fucking nothing there. And then, like, my wife's, like, holding the camera, and you just, like, see it shaking, and she's just, like, Blair Witch kind of shit.
No shit.
But it doesn't happen like that very often. Like, I've had a door slam before, which, you know, I got freaked out by that. Like, fucking, you're in the middle of this old-ass house, and all of a sudden a door just fucking slams on its own. But the more I do it, the more I don't think, you know, and this is where it gets weird. It's like, depending on where you are religiously determines where you think we go when we die, right? Usually. And the more I do this, the more questions arise for me. I don't think that when we die, it ends, because obviously I'm out here trying to talk to dead people.
Yeah.
But I've actually had instances where I talked to somebody that said they were in front of me in time. Not just talking to people that were here, but someone that
like people like from the future.
So I now think it's more of like layers of time, and we're all existing in the same space, but on different planes.
The belief is like that time is concurrent.
Yeah, and people think time is linear, but I think it's more of just a loop.
Circle.
Yeah. So like the past affects the future affects the past, and like it all plays together.
And certain environmental factors can actually make you have a contact with the past, and in my experience, the future.
Yeah.
So like for this one experience, we were in Fort Wayne, Indiana at this old funeral home that John Dillinger's right-hand man went through at one point when he died. And my wife, it's something called the Estes method. So you put on this headset, you don't know what anyone in the room's asking, and they're hooked up to a spirit box, which sweeps through radio frequencies, and they just repeat whatever they hear on the headset. So I'm sitting here in this room, and I did this thing last year where every month I'd go live in a haunted location for a week and set up cameras and stream it the entire time. So we were on one of those, and my wife, it's just like any other investigation, we're doing it. And then some guy starts coming through. His name was Raymond. And he said, I always ask, what year is it for you? Like, that's a question I've asked from the beginning, because I feel like, you know, a lot of them don't realize they're dead if they're dead, and they may not be dead. Yeah. So he said 2082. And I was like, fucking what?
That's like a long time from now, dude.
2082. I was like, that's in front of me, not behind me.
Yeah. So
he thought I was a ghost. So like, he's asking me to like knock on the wall, and he thought I was the ghost that he was ghost hunting for. So he was ghost hunting in 2082 in the same space that I was in now, but he thought I was a ghost. So I started asking questions, and I had this idea. I'm like, okay, so what's your grandfather's name? Because your grandfather's probably on Facebook now in my time. What's his name? And like I had gotten a city and state from him where he was from. He told me like all this crazy shit. So he gives me his grandfather's name. And I get on Facebook and I find this guy that matches the exact city that this dude said he was from. And then he's like deep in interdimensional travel and astral projection threads. And right when I found his page and started scrolling on it, it said, "This is getting dangerous. I have to go." And it just stopped.
Damn. That's pretty creepy.
That to me,
that's wild.
That was the first time I was like, okay, maybe there's a lot more to this than we die and we just like, because here's the thing, like how many people know where they're going to get buried? Fucking, unless you've got like some family plot or like some mausoleum, you probably don't know. So why would you go haunt a cemetery?
I want to be cremated.
Yeah. I mean,
so free the soul.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my belief on that.
Yeah, no, but my point is like no one knows where they're really going to like end up.
So that's the thing of me is, I have my beliefs, but people ask me all the time, like, well, okay, so I believe in heaven and hell. Like, what do you believe in? And I'm like, man, that after, like, what's next is unknown. You know, like there's all these stories, right? And a lot of things are different. A lot of different things are symbolic, but like, we're not supposed to know the answer. Like, that's how I truly believe. Like, coming from me, I just don't know. Having an expectation of what's next when I die is to me just wild. You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of, there's so much mystery in life and there's so much beauty in life. And sometimes the greatest things come from things that are unknown, situations that are unknown, situations that just happen to be fated to you, things you never would expect. And I think that's part of the beauty in it is not knowing exactly what's next. Just, for me, it's live your life with honor. It's going to work out. And I don't want to know what's next.
Yeah.
I can say like, I hope that somehow I'm
you
tied
end up
with
your
like
family,
my family, and my wife and my daughter and, her obviously way after me and my parents and all that stuff. But like, I don't know, like, I can't visualize exactly what's next, and that's okay. But that also makes me understand and be a lot more comfortable and accepting of death as well. Just like, hey, just got to step off into the void.
Well, and I think that's part of why, like, with everything that I do, I don't care to take risks. I don't care to just do crazy shit because we're all going to die.
Yeah.
The clock is there for all of us. So like for me personally, and this is just my thought process, but when I'm on my deathbed one day and somebody goes, "Hey, would you rather have 15 more hours alive? Or would you rather me pay you $25 an hour for these hours and then I'll take them?" Like obviously when you're on your deathbed, you're going to fucking take the extra time. You're not going to say, "Yeah, give me $25.
Yeah.
And I think that when you put it in that perspective, it's really hard for me to justify going to work for somebody that could replace me overnight that doesn't really actually fucking care about you. And the moment you die, they're just going to fill somebody in your seat.
I was talking to my wife about this the other evening. I was like, no matter what happens, business or whatever, I can sit here and be really proud of the fact. One thing I can own is that I went all out for something I believed in.
Yep.
And like, just something I believe in, not just owning a business, but like pursuing what I actually love and what gives me purpose. And like, man, how fucking rare is that?
Yep.
And that's something I can always own no matter what comes next, right? I can sit there and be like, well, at least I gave that a shot. And
when I did, when I decided to go content full time, within 3 weeks, I had a call from one of my previous bosses in the political world, and a job opening had opened up that no one expected to open up. And that was probably the only job that could have pulled me back because I respected that guy a ton. And I said no. And I feel like the universe tests us.
Yeah.
It gives you these opportunities where you can fall back to safety.
Yep.
Like you're starting to venture out into this unknown territory. We're going to give you this one opportunity. And I think it's a test to see how committed you are to your cause.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the moment you can say no and just continue on, right? It may not work out. It really may not.
Yeah.
But the thing is you can take pride in the fact that you bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that people just don't do anymore. Like a lot of people enjoy the comfort, which again, that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Like every day I wake up, I am the one that has to generate everything that I do. And there is a price I pay for that in stress, but there's also a price I pay that I can wake up whenever I want to wake up.
Dude, you can't blame anybody else.
Nope. And the accountability is all on me.
Yeah. I mean, I could sit there and be like, oh, Instagram fucked me. It's over. You know, like a lot of people would probably do that.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it's obviously something that stemmed from me.
Yep.
And who I am that they disliked, and that's okay because like I'm still going to keep going, you know, rather than sitting there getting all like, yeah, it's like, oh, recognize that things suck. It's fine. Like some circumstances are a pain in the ass, but they're really no more than that. It just teaches you, okay, well, now I have to get better at something else. Worst case, you just get better.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, and I think the more energy you put into talking about how shitty a situation is usually when it gets worse. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like manifesting stuff is very real.
Without doubt.
I feel like putting your energy towards something, whether it's good or bad, will usually give you the result that you wanted. And like I didn't like write on my mirror every day, "Hi, you're going to be a social media celebrity." Like I didn't do that, but what I always said was I want to impact and influence millions of people.
Same.
That was my line. It was never. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know if it was politics. I didn't know if it was through sports. I didn't know what it was, but I always wanted to positive influence millions of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, shit, fucking, I'm already there.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's for me, we're progressing into, I want to be a storyteller. Like I wanted to create things that I can be proud of. And I think that's what's really nice is, you know, I don't really set goals in the capacity of like, I have a list of things that I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
But I want to be better than the year I was before.
Yeah.
Right. And whether that's like this year, I'm taking less time to go live stream to put more into my nutrition and my sleep and my workout routine, because obviously I want to bring that up because I put so much effort into the other one that this other one has fallen down. Like,
yeah.
And that's what people don't realize is life is all about give and take. And like, you can only put so much effort, maximum effort towards one thing at a time. So you have to continually try and balance what you're doing. Otherwise, it's all going to fucking crumble.
Yeah. Or just prioritize, right? I mean, I don't believe there's never 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're tackling certain things, like there's no such thing as 50-50. No. You're going to have to pour more into certain things at different points in time, right?
Yeah.
It's especially according to what needs that attention, but you got to be willing to understand that. Like, okay, I haven't been home for a few nights. By the time this is months ago. Oh man, I haven't been home. Like I haven't even seen my daughter's been to bed before I've gotten there. Mm-hmm. You know, like that fucking sucks. Okay, well I need to like pour more time into this part of my day of all this other shit so that I can be more a part of that, and so on and so forth. Right? But it's not like I get 50% with this and 50% with that. Like that's insane.
I mean, and the other thing is I think a lot of it's just self-reflection. You have to be able to look at where you're at, what you're doing, and see where do I need to improve right now? Mm-hmm. What can I let slide for just a hair before I bring it back?
Yep.
And I think that's something that anyone could do, whether you're a 9-to-5er, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in prison. I mean, you can sit there and have self-reflection. Yeah. And I think that's something that a lot of people just don't do enough of. And that's why they usually, and like substance abuse right now is at like an all-time high.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people and I think social media is a part of this, but so many people look at the world around them and think it's so much better than what they're in because they see somebody driving a Lambo or they see somebody, you know, doing this, that, or the other. And the fact of the matter is no one is putting their shit on social media.
Yeah.
Like no one's putting an argument they had with their wife on there. No one's putting the shitty stuff they said to their mom on there. They're not putting it. It's a highlight reel.
Exactly.
So you have to look at everything in the context of which I will say that for me, my whole platform was built on transparency.
Yeah, same here, dude. I mean, you said no one, and I will say that
very few.
There's very few. Like I keep it authentic. Like I talk about it all, you know. Yeah. But like you go ahead.
But yeah, it's like transparency for me, and I think that's part of why my content has grown so much.
Yeah,
is it's not some artificial shit that someone's just pushing in front of you. Like if you don't like me, fucking don't watch.
Yeah.
If you don't like who I am and what I'm doing, then you don't have to watch.
Exactly.
And I think so many people want to go viral. They want to be a big time creator. They want to do this, that, and the other. And they're not really trying to be them. They're just trying to be what they think people want them to be.
Well, yeah, because a lot of that content you can tell just like mimics other people's content.
Yeah, like
you can tell people's shit is authentic.
Like even for me in the ghost hunting scene, from when I started to now, there's so many more people that are trying to do it because they saw somebody blow up doing it. And now they're trying to recreate it, doing the same thing that I did 2.5 years ago, not realizing that you're never going to be a better copy of someone, right? Like the original is always going to be better than the copy.
Yeah.
So you need to be an original in whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's for ghost hunting. That's for anything you're doing in life. Don't fucking look at somebody else. You can look at somebody else for inspiration.
Yeah.
But you need to give it your own flavor.
Yeah. Be a ghost hunter, but like put your twist on it.
Yeah.
You know, do it your own way.
Yeah. Like I went to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum and I put myself in a straitjacket and got locked in one of the rooms just to see what it felt like.
I think I remember you sharing something about that.
Like I'm literally like sitting there in the corner, like in a straitjacket.
That's
not to like, poke fun at, but I just wanted to see what it felt like. Right. And I think part of me loves history to a point to where that's what really got me interested in it was the historical component of it all. Like Waverly Hills, you've got, 16,000 people that would die in that place.
Insane.
You go overseas and you've got places where the Black Plague took place.
Yeah.
And, hundreds of thousands of people died. And it's just really weird. Like I just went to Amsterdam and I went to Anne Frank's house. And like I read that book as a kid and obviously like very profound, piece of literature, but going through the house and like seeing the bookcase that opens that they were all hiding in for fucking months at a time. And it gives you a sense of place and perspective. And that's what I tell people. Like when I have a kid, instead of putting them in school, I'll probably just take them with me and just go. Like reading about Gettysburg and the Battle of Gettysburg compared to actually going to Gettysburg and getting a sight on the perspective and feeling the place, it's just two different worlds.
Yeah.
And I feel like people don't realize that. And again, it goes back to not wanting, people are getting so much digital exposure to things that they feel like the in-person isn't necessary. But it's not even close. Like I'm going to Cambodia later this year to go to the killing fields.
Dude, I went there. Yeah, I went there in 2017, dude. Shit's wild.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is Cambodian.
Ah.
They got some wild fucking food.
Dude, that shit is crazy. I went there right after shooting off rocket launchers and shit in a field. Yeah, it was crazy. And then like I had a few beers and then that sobered me up quick.
Yeah, it
was wild.
Cambodia is crazy.
Dude, they had there was a tree where they used to fucking hit babies against and stuff.
Yeah, because when Pol Pot took power, he was trying to brain drain the entire country.
Yeah, so he was killing off
about.
like professors and artists and all kinds of shit.
It's called the Khmer Rouge. I think it was the 70s. 70s or 80s.
It was. They don't teach it in history, which blows my mind. Yeah.
Like I learned about it in like an AP class.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. The term you just used sounds familiar, but I don't know about the killing fields.
Yeah, so they had fields. So like my sister-in-law's dad and her brother were in a village and they came to the village to kill them. And I'm going to interview him, but he was actually in a rice paddy field for like 3 days breathing through a bamboo shoot just so he didn't die.
Yeah.
But anyone with glasses, murdered. Anyone that had any kind of education, murdered. And he was given 14-year-olds AK-47s and they were just going around killing people.
Yeah, and so Cambodia, they're still rebuilding from that shit. I mean, I went over there, you spend like American money just because they're like, yeah, sure, we'll take it. Like it's so random.
Like you can go over there and probably live for like $40 a week.
Oh, dude, I went to Krispy Kreme there when I got in there, and I gave them $100 bill, and I just got in here, and the people were just like, "What the fuck is this?" Like they didn't even answer me for like 10 minutes. I didn't even know if they were going to give me a donut.
That's crazy.
Finally, we worked it out, but I was so new. But like Cambodia, yeah, dude, it's wild. Like they're living, but the people are still happy as shit, man.
Well, it's because again, it's all about perspective.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of stories that I want to go tell. Like I did this entire thing on Jim Jones because Jim Jones is one that's always fascinated me. And I have a criminal justice degree with concentration in Homeland Security. And in my 400 level classes, I studied terrorist groups and cult leaders. And Jim Jones was one that always fascinated me. So I went to a church in Indiana that it was his boyhood church. And I tried to ghost hunt for Jim Jones.
Yeah.
And I dressed as Jim Jones, but dude's fucking wild.
Yeah.
And people don't even know about that. And that literally happened here. He fucking convinced all these people from California to move down to fucking Guyana. And then got them all to drink fucking cyanide flavor.
Yeah, and just fucking mass suicide.
But here's the crazy part. With that entire story is there were some people found with injection sites on their shoulders.
Oh, really?
So some of the people that said no were just fucking injected with cyanide flavor.
Anyway. Right, well, going down anyways.
So that's what's crazy is not only was it a mass suicide, but it's also
a murder.
Right?
Damn.
And I got a fucking cowboy hat sitting at the bottom of David Koresh's fucking pool in Waco, Texas. Like, but this is the shit I do for work.
Yeah.
Like I'm going around looking at fucking just the tragedies of history. But I feel like it's really cool for me because I get to tell people about how fucked up we are.
Yeah.
Like even 50 years
and
ago.
how little we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got a picture I'll show you of like all the skulls. There's like a tower in the middle of the killing fields that they have all these skulls piled up.
And they're real. Like it's not
No, trust
Halloween
me, they are.
decorations.
Yeah, I got it on my phone. I was like, dude, I was right up at it. I was like, dude, this is nuts.
So I'm doing like a whole, like probably like a documentary on the killing fields and like interviewing them because they speak Khmer, which is a really hard language to try and translate. So like having people that can speak both is going to be very beneficial. But like those are the stories that I want to tell. And that's like what I want my legacy to be is fucking anything. Like I want to do a food review, like skydiving. Like I'm doing a video on a lobster boat when I go to the UK where I go out and catch a lobster with like an actual fisherman. And then we go back to his house and fucking cook it and eat it.
Dude.
Like that's the experience that I want to bring to the table. None of this like fluffed bullshit, you know. I'm the guy with the camera. I'm the one telling the story, and I want it to be as raw and genuine as it can be, but also have substance.
I love that, bro. That's so cool. I mean, I'm fascinated. I just want to tag along for UK. You know, that just sounds like such a good time, man. Yeah. And I think that what you're doing, like specifically that, I find that very important. So you're going to be able to bring a lot of awareness to certain things that more people need to learn about. And like you said earlier, like perspective, right? Like people in Cambodia, like people here need that perspective shift.
And I think that's why travel's huge.
Yeah.
Like if I could, I'm going to offer my child or children the opportunity to either go get a 4-year degree on my dime or I'll pay for you to travel for 4 years. Dude. And I feel like the experience gained from travel, like especially if you go somewhere where they don't speak English and you can't just depend on, you know, the system to kind of just guide you along and you have to be a lot more independent.
Yeah.
I feel like that growth is very critical for people and not enough people get it.
Oh, without a doubt, man.
Like traveling down to Florida is cool and all. It's pretty, but you're not.
There's so much more than that.
You're not getting that pressure of being in a place where you're the outsider. Yeah. And like that's one thing where like where people that go through the process of becoming a citizen here, like sometimes they falter on their English, but they're also fluent in another language. And I'm like, well, shit, I know like English.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I try and be like very understanding when it comes to that because I'm like, you know, they're the outsider here. And I know how that feels being in the other seat.
And dude, and people here get frustrated. Like I was at the gas station to get some dip, and this guy was like getting all frustrated with the guy because his English was a little broken at first. He's like, "What the hell?" You know, I'm like, dude, I'm sitting there thinking like, this guy's a fucking dick. Yeah. You know, I've been to all over Southeast Asia. I spent months over there.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying, like, I just know English, so I'm trying to learn their words and like talking a little bit of an accent to just like communicate a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to show some people grace too, man.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people falter is we've gotten so fast paced and people just don't care about other people like they used to.
No, they don't.
And like what I really do think that there's a lot of people, rich people that run everything that we do, like people that we'll never see.
Oh yeah.
And they just shake the jar up enough for us to get pissed off at another group of people so that we're at each other's throats, but we're not looking at who's shaking the jar. We're just looking at the other people that are in the jar with us.
Yep. And then we believe all these things and then we manifest a lot of this shit in reality. You talked about manifestation and I believe it, man. Like TV, all these things, people see what's going on in the world. And then everybody starts speaking the same things. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. Dude, I just don't fucking pay attention I have awareness, but I don't give it my attention and I don't talk about things happening. I just focus on doing the best I can.
Yeah.
You know, and loving life, dude, because there's so much more beauty in it than it seems.
Yeah. I mean, and I think just the fact that you can wake up every day, you can do whatever you want to do. Like that to me is where my soul thrives.
Yeah.
And I like what's crazy is like when I went to the UK, their perception on the US is so fucked. Like they think when I get out of my house, I'm fucking playing Red Dead Redemption in real life. Right? Yeah. Like they think I'm riding around fucking just shooting people with my fucking SIG. I'm like, that's not how it works. They're like, aren't you afraid to get shot? And I'm like, what?
No. I've heard that a lot too from people that their first thing is always guns.
Yeah, it's always guns. And it's like it's weird for them because like obviously I have a shit ton of guns.
Yeah,
I live in Tennessee.
I don't have a single gun.
I have no guns.
saw a video of a guy that was like, that said that. He was like, looking at the camera. He's like, I don't have any ammo. I have nothing in my front yard. I got nothing in the backyard, nothing in my barn back there.
I want to buy
I don't
land
even
just
know
so
what
I
this
can.
is for.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to buy land so I can go blow shit up with tannerite. Like,
Exactly. I just want tannerite. That's it. No, but I feel you there. Yeah, man. But it is weird how people in the other world perceive. I mean, even when I was in Asia, you know, like Trump had just got in office, and I don't care what people think as far as all that goes. But like that was just people who were like, I'm from Tennessee, and Trump just got voted for. So they're like, oh, you're from.
do you know him?
What about Trump? Yeah, and they're like talking like they got like an Australian accent or like a freaking like Swedish accent. I'm like, what the hell?
That's because that's all the news pushes out.
Yeah.
Is the political shit.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you expect me to do? Like some kind of Trump trick right here?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Trump. And you're like,
Great frankly,
do a backflip.
I love
Yeah.
China. Great people in China.
I've seen you do that before. Actually, you do a good impersonation.
That's so
I
funny.
think you've done that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
They expect you to do a quick backflip and just start doing shit. And you're like, I don't know, man. Listen, he got elected. I just.
Yeah, I know. Well, I actually played into it one time because I got really drunk and did this kickboxing thing at
yeah, I
this
remember you
bar
were
in
telling me about
Thailand, and it was just like I played into it, dude. And my buddy got me trashed, and I was like, he's like, get up there and fight. So I got in there just blackout drunk, and I was apparently like, just like Trump,
Dude, this shit's so funny.
Trump, and just being the fucking stereotypical American.
Yep.
And I got knocked out by some dude from Kazakhstan. Hit me right here in the temple, dude. I went straight down, bro. I'm pretty sure I had a concussion that night. I'll never know. But yeah, dude. And I was just like,
I'll
fuck,
never
man.
know.
Everybody there is probably like, fucking America.
Fucking America.
Someone's got a
Fucking
video.
yank.
Yeah,
Yeah, there it is.
exactly. I'm like, whatever, dude. I mean, it was an experience. But I know I wanted to get off that island a couple days after. But that being said, I want to dive into, you know, you talked about the ghost hunting a little bit. Mm-hmm. God, I could talk about that all day too, because I find it really fascinating. And I think it's really cool how we talked about taking risks, right? And I think it's really cool that that's such like for lack of better terms, odd avenue to dive into full throttle, right? Like, I don't know anybody that's ever been like, I'm going to go all out with ghost hunting.
Yeah.
You're like the only person I know to do that. So I think it's just really cool. That was like one thing they were like, I really wanted you on here because I love that willingness just to take that risk into something you believe. You're like, I believe in myself and I believe that I can succeed at this. And you did.
Yep.
You moved forward with that. And I think this is a really cool thing because it's so far-fetched compared to what everybody else does.
Yep.
You know, and so I really appreciate that. But that's also led you into, you know, the opportunities with, you know, you want to eventually get into telling those stories of it with the food and the culture and everything like that. But you're like really famous for like trying food all over UK, right?
Yeah.
And I know, did we talk about that on camera yet?
I don't know.
so.
I don't think I've even.
I will say we're at the end of the third segment.
Okay.
So that would be a good
Starting
thing
point.
to chat about on the Patreon if you want to do that.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick Patreon segment. Well, just, do you want to like...
Maybe I can just mention it for the last.
Yeah, I want you to mention that a little bit. Yeah.
So I went to the UK to ghost hunt, and I decided to post a Sunday roast video, which like over in the UK, every Sunday they make like a huge dinner. It's like Thanksgiving here, but it's every Sunday over there. So I posted that video, and it got like 500K likes, and I was getting shredded for fucking wearing my hat at the dinner table, which like here, that's like not really a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
But over there, I got fucking ripped apart. But instead of getting fucking pissed off, I went to KFC for my next video and like fucked up me using the utensils on purpose, made sure I took my hat off, and the videos just started going. And like as a content creator, you know you've got something really good when you post and you're at like 20 minutes posted and the video is already at 100,000 views.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, I see this where this is going. I just need to do it more. So I shifted my entire content structure, and now all my TikTok is me eating food videos.
Oh, nice.
And it works. Every video I post 100K plus, and people enjoy it because I don't. Again, with my ghost hunting stuff, I don't give them any bullshit. Like I just tell them how it tastes. If it's good, I give it a rating. And they fell in love with me trying stuff that I've never had here.
Yeah.
That it just took off. And then now I never would have foreseen me going back to the UK a month later, but here we are.
And now
I don't really want to say how much I made just because I don't really ever do that.
Yeah. It's more personal.
But what I will say is within a 2-week span, I had 50 million views across 2 platforms, and England's got like 55 million people. And 90% of those views came from England and the UK. So everywhere I go in that fucking country, somebody knows who I am, and it's just crazy.
So you're definitely recognized as the guy around there.
Well, yeah, because like how many people were wearing a fucking black cowboy hat in the UK?
Yeah.
2, I'm not a small guy anyways, and like I just look like a fucking American over there. Because everybody over there's got like the in it bruv haircut. That's what they call it. Like everybody looks the same. They're all fucking cookie cutters. in it bruv. But they're all wearing fucking like the hooded jackets, the big puffers, and like you got me over here wearing like a fucking leather jacket. Over here listening to fucking CCR, driving in some tiny ass little fucking English fucking stick.
Yeah, yeah.
And people are like, yeah. Like in my videos, I'm like, I'm an American in the UK for the first time trying. And then the comments are like, yeah, we fucking know you're from America.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm like, what could tell you that?
That's funny as shit, man. Well, dude, that's really cool, man. And you know, we're obviously gonna have to end this. And but I do got a question for you, both professionally and in life. What is your relentless pursuit?
My relentless pursuit is to essentially leave a legacy that my generations that come after me can turn on the TV or whatever the hell they got at that point and see exactly how I was as a person and how committed I was to being successful.
Oh yeah, that's perfect, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be wildly impressed, my friend. So I look forward to that for you, but or for them, because I'll be dead. So, anyways,
hey, your videos will be out there too.
Exactly, man. Well, I've talked about that. I mean, every episode here, man, that's going to be accessible, right? So, like down the road, they're going to be able to look back and be like, "Oh, that was great grandfather Joe, just fucking crushing it and getting people's stories out there."
Shooting the shit on the podcast,
shooting the shit, getting people's stories, man, making some impactful content, and just like, and it's just going to keep continuing. So, like, I'm already proud of that.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, you're going to crush it, man. I'm stoked to see where things take you. And I'm stoked for us to go to the UK and eat a bunch of food. I'll just be the guy, like, just there. I don't even gotta do nothing. I'll just eat stuff. But, or leftovers or whatever. But that being said, dude, I'm stoked to see what you do, man. And thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, bro.
See you guys next time.